Meant to say, with respect to pre-existing damage to the kidneys from long-term type 1 diabetes, just worried about over a decade of transgressions, taking taurine and cerule for now to expedite things. Good. You're doing the right thing. Cerule will basically give you those new stem cells. And if the body prioritizes that, that's the sort of hit and miss. Obviously, if there's more damage there, it probably will prioritize that, which is a good thing. Taurine plays a big role in keeping the glycating factors and also helping in the healing as well in that regard. So, yeah, but I wouldn't get too worried. I mean, depends on how much damage, but if it's not severe, like you're not, if you're on dialysis, obviously, you just can't filter enough. If somebody's on dialysis, I'd rather have them on supplemental taurine, cerule, and other things like that to really just heal the stuff, heal the body, and off the glycating factors and off all that garbage, and that can be a problem. And there you basically have to really get the energy stuff in to try and maintain so you don't wither away. So the energy stuff, fat, obviously. Now, some people can tolerate different amounts and all that. You may have to spread it throughout the day, things like that. But that's if you're on dialysis and stuff like that. If you're not, you can still tolerate, protein. And as long as you're not glycating it and all that sort of stuff, you can spread it a bit in the day at this stage. It's not something that, it's not indicated that way. You're not supposed to, but if you've got that sort of kidney problem, you still need the nutrients. You still need the enzymes, the different protein, little micro machines that are going to be in there that are doing the healing and doing things in your body. You still need that cellular repair, that cellular turnover and stuff like that. So, but under those circumstances, you've seen my videos go higher on the taurine in order to basically help that along and to regulate blood pressure as well, which is very important. Those are the sort of things, but eventually things will shift back. I mean, Dr. Atir, the guy, and a number of people that are in the low carb community, in the keto community, in the carnivore space, that have got type 1 diabetes, are keeping it under control. And it's not causing them damage. It's the glycating factors that we put in. It's all that crap that we've done for years. So you just may not be able to filter the same level of quantity, but even there, it's not really that much of a problem because your stomach will hold on to things and will slowly digest over multiple hours. So the more meat you put in your stomach, it'll take longer. And so the amount that gets released into the small intestine is small amounts each time. It just means you're absorbing for longer periods of time. But the amount that could circulate through, in terms of the kidney filtration and all that, it's not going to be vast in that regard. This whole notion about protein being a problem comes more from that when you're very damaged, you start breaking down proteins and you start, and your kidneys start failing and you start breaking some of the protein structures and end up with a lot of misfolded proteins that don't work properly, and they end up in the urine getting excreted. And that's where you actually see in the tests. But that doesn't basically mean that the protein's the problem. It's basically that this is damaged tissue, So it's like running through your kidneys a whole lot of oxalate and doing damage to your oxalate. And it's not the protein that you ate, it's the oxalate that actually did the damage. It's certain other things, Yes, it may stress them slightly, but, it's not going to kill them. But the tolerance, the protein tolerance, will vary depending on how much kidney damage there is. So that's where you may have to do it slightly different than other people. But you really need to do these other things to basically re-heal the kidneys. And my father had kidney problems, and I had him on more protein and taurine. And rather than actually seeing a deleterious effect on his kidneys, that's an N of 1, I know, but my father's kidneys became stronger and less, those cancerous lesions and all that, they sort of dissipated. So I'll leave it up to you. I can't recommend anything because I'm not a doctor. But from anecdotes from my father's experience and from the literature out there, protein does not cause problems to kidneys. Really, it's the glycating factors. A person that, if you've got this sort of thing, you need to stay away from this sort of, from seed oils and sugar like the plague. Zero tolerance. And that includes alcohol. If you do any of these things, then you've only got yourself to blame. You've been, those are the things that are going to really cause the problems, not animal foods.